Hello, Tom Cosm here. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Leakage automatic glitch baseline machine that I made and put out yesterday. I put out a video yesterday, but it was more of a promo show-off type video. Today I'm actually going to build something, talk you through it, talk you through the features, and hopefully we come up with something cool. So I've got a loop here which I've made, pretty simple. Pretty simple. And over here I've got an operator and a baseline which I've written. Make it a square so you can hear it properly. Not terribly exciting, so I'm just going to grab the leakage here. It's an instrument rack, and I'm going to drag it down on top of the operator. Now it takes a few seconds to load because remember it has an instrument rack at the end which has 128 chains, and each chain has its own operator in there. So there's 128 bass patches here. So it can take a few seconds to load. But you also need to remember that in an instrument rack, if a chain is not receiving data or playing something, it's not using up CPU, so you can quite easily have 128 chains. So we look here, we've got different operator patches for each one of these things, and it won't blow up your computer. So that's good. So that's all loaded up. You can also go in and just use this instrument rack if you want to play with these bass patches. I made all of them, and there's quite a lot of work in there. So close down these macros. I'm just going to play this clip now and see what happens. Alright, first thing we notice is that it's not playing any different notes. That's because if we scroll down, remember this is our sequencer, so each one of these is a step. Each time it gets a new note, it moves on. Or I should say each time a note finishes, it moves on to the next step. It takes a note off value. And each step has a value, so I can change the value by clicking here. Make sure you're on steps mode, so I can change these values. By default, they're all down at the bottom here. So what I can do is I can go reset step values. This will change it from 1 to 128, moving throughout all 128 steps, going up in single value increments. So now we should be getting something different. And if I move over here, open up our chain selector, you'll see each note, it moves across to a new chain, only leading through the information to one of these bass patches. That one's muted, I don't know why. Awesome. Now the steps, we can change how many steps we're working with. So I'm going to drag this down from 128. Let's just make it 4. That's cool, but now I can go and I can zoom out here. I can just pick random steps. But what I want to do is I really want to have these steps matched up with the amount of MIDI notes that I have, so it plays the same every time. It's a nice matched up loop. So we've got a bunch of notes here. I can click this, count all MIDI notes, and it will go, okay, there's 24 MIDI notes, so we can then set the step sequencer to play 24 MIDI notes. Now if I have my automatic back to step 1 thing on here, it means each time I hit play, it's going to go back to the start and play me the same thing over and over. And that just means I can go ahead and put some random notes in here, just anywhere I want. You can be very precise with how you do this, but I find just putting random notes in is really fun. Now remember that each step changes the following note. I'm not sure if I'm going to change this, but this is how it's set up at the moment. So for instance, if I want to change the first note, I need to change this last step here, etc. Of course I can change all the steps at once using the slider, but just be careful when you use this because you will lose the work you just did if you had already placed steps where you wanted them to be. So let's just go back and put some more random ones in here. Should add a random button really, shouldn't I? Now below that we've got something called grunt. Now grunt changes the resonance of the filter. Each one of those bass patches has a filter with a resonance, and this changes all of them at once, so it makes it much more sharp. Or we can go, okay, we don't want any resonance here, we want a little bit here, and you can just pick and mix as you get playing. Now we've also got a wub. Now wub controls the decay of the filter envelope. So this is kind of makes it way more stabby and short. Or if we open it up, you get really long notes. And of course we can pick and mix this as well. So I'm just going to add some in here. We also have a womp. Now the womp controls the attack of the filter envelope. So this opens notes up. So the higher this is, the more open notes are going to be. And we can pick a mix here as well. We can say, all right, that one's long and maybe not that long. And we need a bit more wub here. Cool, instant fun. Now let's put the beat back in. Let's change some of those steps. It's so much fun, and as I said, you come up with something unique every time, really easily. You can go in and start fine-tuning all these steps and all your little values if you want, but man, you can just, I really like this. I mean, I did make it, but hey, it really works with the way that I personally like to work when I'm producing music. That's pretty much it. It's pretty basic features set, really, but pretty much guaranteed not to make something that somebody else has with this, I think. Might as well just do one more example while I'm there. We'll do a 4 to the floor one. Let's go techno, go into our samples. What have we got? I wonder if we've got a house beat, maybe. Tech house. We'll use that guy. So I'm just going to drag that in. Get rid of these dudes. Play this. What BPM are we at with this loop? 123. Let's bring it up to 123. That's already sounding cool. I'm going to go over here. I do have a compressor which is sidechained. I'm going to sidechain it to the techno loop we just made, and we'll give it an EQ bandpass just so we can grab that kick. Let's add a new MIDI note here. Stop that and play this. Let's just put in some just got to right click and extract the groove from this clip. Remember, extracting a groove analyzes it and says, okay, this has got kind of a swingy, shuffly kind of beat to it, and it's taking a wee while. And then that adds it to this groove pool down here, which means I can then drag the groove onto anything else within Ableton Live, giving it the same feeling, the same swing, the same kind of shuffle. And you can do this with anything. You can take someone playing a guitar, you can take someone singing, you just have to extract the groove and then apply it to something else. And it works on audio clips too. It doesn't have to be a MIDI clip. It does really interesting stretching algorithms. So I've gotten the groove, and let's chuck it on here. So it lets me, here we go. So now that should be kind of swung in the same way that this is. Just moving some notes around, having a bit of fun. It's quite fun adding notes because it does take, if you have the preview on, it does actually take the note off value and give you cool shit. Excellent. So go back to our leakage, count all the MIDI notes. How many have we got this time? Oh, we got 24 as well. Interesting. And let's just change some of these around. Deep House. So there you go. That's how you use Leakage. Very simple, very fun. Hope you enjoy it. It is in beta mode. Pro members can download this now. Get it, play with it, be one of the first to use it. Heaps of fun. Show me what you do with it. If you can break it, let me know and I'll fix it. And I'll put out a stable release once I'm pretty confident that it's working 100%. So yeah, check out cosm.co.nz/leakage if you want to get involved and play with this. Cheers, Tom Cosm.